Masking tape's job isn't to not take off the paint. Like, I feel like its job is to take off the paint.
That is its job, but its job is to be a mask, not to take off paint.
I feel like if you are a successful and profitable painter, whenever you finish a project, you should leave a couple rolls of masking tape behind. I feel like that's the way to maintain success and revenue, is by just leaving some tape.
Just for goodwill?
No, just so they can tape stuff up and it just rips the paint back off. You got to come back.
Oh, and then you're back working again. Sure. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I've found the best jokes are the ones you have to explain.
Quiet, please.
The ones where you really have to get in there and get into the details and the nuance. Those are the ones that really,
4.
Yeah, knock it out of the park.
3.
No, that killed.
2.
No, that killed. Company presents a Truly Terrible Podcast. Welcome to Nonsense, Season 3, Episode 67. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Jill.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, Tesla ditches human safety monitors in Austin Robotaxi test.
Yeah, those safety monitors are overheard saying, man, those things are not safe.
DoorDash driver arrested for allegedly seasoning Arby's delivery with pepper spray.
But they checked the extra spicy box when they ordered, so it's kind of on them.
A close call 350 miles up. Starlink and Chinese satellite nearly collide.
Yet again, the satellite drivers were looking at their phones. It's just shameful.
Google interpreter in your earbuds is here.
Porque Google necesita más datos.
Also, our big story later this week, New Year's spoiler alert. CJ and I make our probably wrong predictions for 2026.
Probablemente incorrecto.
Google, set CJ back to English.
Okay.
It's our penultimate show of the year. After Thursday's episode, we'll be off for 2 weeks to enjoy a little holiday and New Year's celebration.
And football. You'll be enjoying football in person, watching IU win at the Rose Bowl. That's what you're going to do.
Not if I can help it. How's your week going? Do you have your Christmas decorations up?
Don't be trouble. Why are you always trouble?
Because you put up big inflatable things in your yard.
We have
Did
most
you do
of
it?
No, the inflatables, I'm waiting because I do it with the kids, and we haven't had the time to do it. And now I'm like, then you get to like diminish returns. And then I just become lazy old man. I'm like, do I want to put these up for like a week and then just take them back down, have to rinse them off and all that crap? They're going to make me do it. I'm probably still going to do it. We do a lot of inflatables. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
At least the inside of the house is mainly done. The outside, not so much. Yeah. But the inside's mainly done.
Bob Dylan used to put up this crummy little cheap string of lights out in front of his house for Christmas. And every year, Meryl Marco would go, because she lives down the street, just slightly. And she would give you her interpretation
of the lights,
of what Bob was telling you through his strings of lights each year. Oh my gosh, so funny.
Reading the tea leaves.
I'll put a link in the show notes if you want to read some of the past episodes. She stopped doing it, but she did it for years.
I am continuing in a lifelong tradition of bringing joy to others by acting a complete fool.
Yes.
Which I excel at. I'd like to say I could teach a masterclass on this.
Okay.
As many of you know, the Detroit Lions played in Los Angeles. They played the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday.
Yes.
And my good friend Sean, who's a listener of the show, and is at least as crazy as me, I think probably more crazy than me, he decided that we needed to go.
You could.
So, of course, we needed to go. This is after doing our Tigers ALDS tour earlier this year that we talked about. Sean, of course, made outfits. We had blue Honolulu blue sequin jackets. We had blue wigs. We had custom 3D printed chain medallions that said 313 on them.
Yeah.
We even had lion tails that were easily mistaken for butt plugs, which I thought was fantastic.
Oh, my.
Lion tail hanging out. We had signs. We had Gofffather signs. We had a Lion's Wood sign. We had a 313 greater than 213 sign, which was hands down my favorite.
Sure.
Because most people didn't get it, and I find that even more funny. We probably took, I'm not kidding when I tell you, over 100 pictures with fans, which was
people just
awesome.
came up to you and said, "Can we get a picture with you?"
Yeah. I mean, people were like, "I'm sorry, would you mind taking another photo?" Like, yeah, what? That's like, why we do this?
Yeah.
We had folks from like out of the country that were at their first NFL game. There were a lot of people there that had come in from Mexico that had never seen an NFL game, and they came in not to see the Rams, to see the Lions, which I thought was pretty awesome.
I wonder why.
I don't know, but I feel like at least a third of that stadium, maybe half, was Lions fans. I mean, it was crazy how many Lions fans there were. The Rams fans were exceptionally welcoming. They were very kind to us. It was really great. And of course, SoFi is amazing. I mean, SoFi is just a giant hole that they dug. You walk in the stadium and go down, which is pretty crazy.
Not great for concerts, at least in my experience, not great for concerts.
They put on a great show. For the football game, it was a great show. Sadly, the Lions did not win the game. There was at least one, I'd say, very questionable call, but we won't talk about that here.
You and everyone else was complaining about that call.
Yeah, apparently downs don't matter sometimes. Like you can be down and still slide into the end zone, and that's okay. Is I think what the end, and you don't have to catch the ball. You can just sort of trap it underneath you, and all the things they say you're not
never
supposed
get control
to
of it.
That's,
Sure.
that's not important. It doesn't matter. We're not complete idiots, and we are, but we know how outcomes work, and we know that the Lions will inevitably let you down year over year. So we planned for this outcome and had our own take on the. Do you know the classic sad Lions fan paper bag head that they'd show up as like sad Lions fans? They put a paper bag on their head.
Sure.
We did our own version of that and wore those. Huge hit at the end of the game. Everyone loved it. We had a little paper bag sign that said, 68 years of saying maybe next year.
Sure.
Huge hit. And my favorite part of this whole experience was when we were walking out and some Lions fan walked by us. We saw these paper bags on our heads. Some Lions fan walks by us and says, "Oh, come on, man. It's not paper bag bad yet." And I was like, "Oh, he said yet." He knows. He's a Lions fan. He knows. So it was really funny. And then we got to walk back to our car dressed as complete idiots in Inglewood. So now I know what it feels like to be a male prostitute. It was really great.
Nice.
Got that out of the way. Just wanted to check that off the list. We had a lovely time. I cannot tell you how much fun it is to just go bring people joy. I didn't really care about the game. The game was fun, but it was really fun to have this many people be happy for a moment. And I'm on a bunch of social media posts. Of
course.
Great.
And now the question everybody is going to be asking in their minds, because everybody asks this anytime you go there, how long did it take you to get in? How long did it take you to get out?
Oh, from SoFi? Oh, yeah. The drive. We went super early. And the drive was easy peasy lemon squeezy. That was great. I made a calculation to not park at the stadium because I've heard egress can be terrible.
Horrible.
So we parked about a mile away at a very nice Inglewood City parking facility. They give you shuttle bus tickets.
How nice.
We didn't take the shuttle bus. We actually walked because that was way more fun. I mean, we walked in. That was a blast. We had VIP tour buses of Lions fans cheering for us as we're walking down the streets.
That's awesome.
It also didn't hurt that it was like 68 degrees and beautiful out. But egress wasn't bad. We got out. We just walked back to the car. It was a 20-minute walk. And then it was about 40 minutes back to the house where, the best time you're going to get is 25 minutes. So it was 15 extra minutes. It wasn't bad.
That's great.
But the people that parked in the parking lot, I think they're still there at the time of recording.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It is awful getting out of that lot.
I mean, I can only assume in the future there's going to be a day where you've got events letting out at the Forum, at SoFi, and at Intuit all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the Earth might stop spinning. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be absolutely terrible.
Although, I think, at some point we're going to be allowed to build train stations, subway stations near those venues.
Yeah.
And that will solve all of those problems. But until then, why do you make a venue where we don't have a subway?
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Okay, but let's put the subway in.
I don't know, man. They were talking about putting the NFL stadium downtown. I think that would have been worse. If that thing was downtown, could you imagine the gridlock you would have?
Well, there's the red line. I could have gotten out very, very quickly using the red line.
Yeah, but then it'd smell like urine. Is there a non-urine car? I haven't been on the red line in a while, but is it like smoking, non-smoking? Oh, the last couple of times I went on there, it smelled like two things, urine and COVID. I was like, oh boy, it's time to get off.
COVID has a smell?
Oh yeah, just a bunch of people coughing. I was just like, this is not good. This is not where I want to be right now. Anyway, I had a lovely, lovely week. I'm sure folks have already seen some of the pictures. I'll post some. We had a great time. And I'm happy to be back in the saddle for our last week before our break.
Fantastic.
End of our third season. This is a big deal.
It's a big, big deal.
How about you? How was your week?
My week was lovely. I've been I did nothing like you. I didn't go anywhere or do anything, but I am loading up a cart of cheap thread devices at the IKEA website.
You dork.
I don't know why. These are like, normally these devices are $30 everywhere else, and they're $8 motion sensors, $8 window door sensors, $6 remotes. I don't know how they do it so cheaply. And I would expect, because it's IKEA and historically their smart home stuff has worked really well, I presume this stuff will work really well.
It's going to work great. I've seen some teardowns of these devices. They went out of their way to make them cost effective to make. Like, they're all single side PCBs. They're relatively few components. Like, they've done an excellent job making these things effective and cheap, and I'm extremely impressed.
I can't wait to get them, although I absolutely have no need for them. My house is fully smart.
Nah, you don't need. Need's not important. You gotta have them. You just gotta have them near. Yeah, I understand.
I just can't help myself.
It's like your comfort blanket. I just love this version of us where Sunday I'm at SoFi going to a football game, interacting with lots of people I don't know, taking pictures. Meanwhile, you're like underneath a blanket on your couch with an iPad so your wife doesn't see you ordering a bunch of crap from IKEA that you don't need. And you're just like, is he watching porn? No, he's probably ordering home automation stuff.
Exactly.
That's what she says. He's just on IKEA's site getting some motion sensors.
We had games. They were just all away games. The Lakers have been on a big road trip.
Yeah. How's that working out for him?
Let's get to our headlines. After 7 crashes, Tesla eliminates the human safety monitor. Tesla has achieved a critical milestone by removing all human safety monitors from its Robotaxi test fleet in Austin, Texas, a move confirmed by CEO Elon Musk. This accelerates the company's goal to launch a commercial autonomous ride service to compete with Waymo. This decision intensifies scrutiny, especially since the small Tesla fleet has been involved in at least 7 crashes since June, with details heavily redacted by the company. Tesla is focusing on Texas due to its lighter regulations compared to California, where multiple permits are needed. The company's current fleet of 25 to 30 cars is in sharp contrast to Musk's earlier ambitious expansion goals.
You know, they've already surpassed Forest Lawn. They've already beaten Forest Lawn. So now they're going after Waymo.
They still don't have LiDAR in their cars. They're not
going to put LiDAR in their cars. That's not the plan.
I know, but that's the problem. At least for now, we're optically not equipped for this to work.
They're taking the Roomba approach. They just put a little bumper. They know when they hit shit. And then when they hit stuff, it's like, oh, turn around.
After the fact?
It just does. You know when the Roomba runs into your wall and it turns around and speeds the other way? That's what they're going to do. They're going to just bump into stuff.
They hit 4 objects in September.
Yeah. Those objects had it coming.
One of them was a dog.
Do you know how that dog was dressed? Very provocative.
Was he? It's his fault. You're blaming it on the dog.
The dog's fault. What was the dog doing in the street? See, that's the problem. That's where the cars
going to the other side.
Unless it was on the sidewalk. Yeah.
They hit a cyclist.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah.
They hit a cyclist?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
They hit a car that was backing up.
Well, probably had it coming. What else? Is that it?
That's just 4 of them were in September.
That's all you got?
No, there were 3 of them in July.
Okay, you got a dog, you got a cyclist, and you got a car backing up. Yeah. That almost never happens in real life.
It's a higher rate of accidents per mile driven than humans have.
It's a higher rate of accidents than...
The Waymo is the opposite. They have way lower rates of accidents than
kids
humans.
on learning permits. Like, you could get 3...
Kids on learning permits probably do pretty well.
You could
because they're being super cautious.
We could go to Avis, rent a car right now, put 3 rhesus monkeys in there, and it would do better than these things.
Yeah, it's not an impressive record.
I'm almost keyword tired of banging this drum over and over again.
Sure.
Remember, this is the guy that in July of this year said half of the population of the U.S. would be covered by Robotaxi.
Yeah,
half, right? And I was just like, good luck. Like, okay, I see no path by which you get there.
Sure.
They've now revised that number, not Elon, but they've now revised that number, saying that they would get to maybe 60 vehicles by the end of the year.
I'm sure. I'm less concerned.
It's like 5 orders of magnitude different.
Oh yeah. No. I'm less concerned about the lying about what they will do, and more concerned about the safety and the harm that they're about to do by taking out the.
Well, that's the good news.
Human safety monitors.
That's the good news. California, we're just this bastion of regulation. Just we don't want businesses to succeed in California. We want them all to fail. Good news, Texas, no regulation.
Sure.
So they can just go put these cars on the road and do. I'm not going to say whatever they want, but there's a lot less regulation.
Pretty close
for driverless cars.
Now, in all fairness, the reason we have that regulation in California is because we had driverless cars that were
for a while
crashing into people and dogs and things. Yes.
Turns out we have a tendency to like people.
We got tired of it.
But I'd also like to remind folks that, 9-10 years ago, I think it was like 2016, Elon promised that every Tesla made would have all the hardware required to become autonomous. We're just waiting on the software. And they've since walked that back technically twice.
Yeah.
Like technically twice, they were like, oh, well, the first stuff, no, so much. And then all the hardware 3, now they're just like, yeah, no, just kidding. You're going to need hardware 4.
Sure.
And we'll see. Like, I think there was a lawsuit several years ago that made them upgrade just for FSD from 2 or 2.5 to 3. And they wanted to charge customers for it. And the customers like, no,
right.
That's not okay. So who knows where this is going? But I'm not very optimistic that any of these claims are going to be met anytime soon.
I think eventually your suits against Tesla for Musk's lies are going to fail, because eventually it's going to be he's a known liar.
Yeah, good point. I
mean, at what point did you not realize that what he was saying was never going to come true?
Yeah, it's expected that this is not going to,
How long did it take you to figure that out?
Yeah. Anyway, I want to be optimistic that there's a path with just optical sensors alone. My problem is the optical sensors are worse than our eyes currently, pretty significantly.
Yeah.
So until you at least get it to be comparable, you're still a long way away.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I go, well, this LiDAR stuff's getting cheaper and it works really, really well. And now it's better than your eyes.
LiDAR stuff is getting cheaper and cheaper. It's amazing how much the prices have dropped for LiDAR sensors.
I mean, it's really cool. Like, I've actually been looking at getting some LiDAR-based 3D scanning devices that are pretty inexpensive just to have to screw around with. I mean, this is tech that was 2 orders of magnitude about, let's say, a decade ago in cost.
Yeah.
And by the way, the resolution was a fraction of what it is now. Like, it's gotten better in all regards. Probably beaten Moore's Law if I had to guess, but I'll have to go plot that to see.
Pretty amazing.
Pretty nuts. Yeah, pretty nuts.
Anything else you want to include in the story?
Yeah, man. Tesla, I'm going to give it a buy rating. What are we doing? We're becoming the Kramer of podcasts.
DoorDash driver faces felony charges over tampered meal. An Evansville, Indiana woman is facing felony charges after allegedly spraying a DoorDash delivery with a substance that caused customers to vomit and experience a burning sensation. On December 7th, a man reported that he and his wife became ill after eating an Arby's order. Doorbell camera footage allegedly showed the delivery driver, Courtney Stevenson of Kentucky, spraying a substance from a keychain aerosol can toward the food after drop-off. Stevenson told police she used a pepper spray on a spider, but the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office disputed this due to the cold temperatures. Spiders apparently don't come out in the cold, I guess. I don't know. After Stevenson declined an interview, detectives obtained an arrest warrant. She now faces charges for battery resulting in moderate injury and consumer product tampering and is awaiting extradition. DoorDash has permanently banned her from the platform. Apparently she can no longer order food either.
Yeah, well, good on you, DoorDash. Way to get in front of that one. Banner. Apparently that is too much. Yeah, it was like 37 degrees overnight. Spiders no worky in the freezy.
Right.
Like that's not first of all, that's just silly. But more importantly, like you're blaming the pepper spray she sprayed on why you got sick from Arby's. I would question the Arby's before I question the pepper spray. Like it's Arby's.
The pepper spray was probably fine, sure.
And by the way, it's Arby's delivered to you even slower than getting it there, which just gives the bacteria more time to have a party.
Arby's they were having at midnight. They were probably
sober,
on substances.
Dead cold sober,
yes.
probably reading the Bible if I had to guess what they were doing.
Yeah, there might have been other reasons for them to vomit.
I really want to follow this story because I want to know what she was thinking. I don't think it was as easy as these people made an Arby's order, I'm going to drop it off. Oh, wait, I'm going to paint it with pepper spray.
Yeah.
I don't buy the spider story. My hunch is she saw something. Like they had like an IU banner up or something, and she was just like, I'm an LSU fan or some crap like that.
Sure.
That I would find is more believable. So I really want to know what happened here. Hopefully she will say it. I would also like to point out that as of the time of recording, she's currently being held without bail in Kentucky, awaiting extradition
to Indiana,
which I kind of love.
It's about 7 feet. Evansville is just right so close to the border.
But I just love that they're going to extradite her from Kentucky to Indiana for this.
Sure.
Which I think they should. I'm not being sarcastic.
Of course.
I absolutely think that they should. But it's like she's in there with the extradition. What are you in for? Murder. What'd you do? Spiced up some Arby's. Like
seasoned some Arby's.
It's just like, oh wow. Yeah. Put her into solitary. She's definitely a threat. Anyway, this story. Yeah.
Would you have such a problem with it if it were not Arby's? You see, I mean, the Arby's could have gotten the people sick too. As you said,
Taco Bell.
Right. If it was Taco Bell or Mexican food, it would have been probably fine, right?
Well, it would have been encouraged. We got a better tip. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe she just thought it was Taco Bell. Yo quiero pepper spray, and then she just sprayed it on there.
Close call, 350 miles up. Starlink and Chinese satellite nearly collide. A recent close approach in low Earth orbit occurred between a newly launched CAS space satellite from China and a Starlink satellite, missing a collision by a mere 200 meters. SpaceX blamed the Chinese operator for not sharing location data, which is crucial for Starlink's automatic collision avoidance system to function. Starlink VP Michael Nichols noted that no coordination was performed. Now, does that work like the Tesla autopilot, the avoidance system, only except they have to know where objects are going to be ahead of time?
I do think it would be great. I do see this being a defense. When the Tesla runs over like a dog, they're just going to be like, well, the dog wasn't registered in its position location data. We had no idea where it was. Like, you got to coordinate with us.
They have to let us know in advance.
Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't. I mean, that curb could be anywhere. This is very interesting. And I'm saying interesting with like a asterisk and a brow lifted up because really, this is not good. 200 meters is insanely close, right? That's like 2 football fields. You're talking about like 600-ish feet.
Sure. In space terms, that's very, very close.
It's way too close for comfort. And you run the risk, there's so many objects up there. We currently have, something like 24,000 tracked objects up there. We expect that number to almost triple by 2030, which is insane.
It probably almost tripled that afternoon.
Yeah, well,
I mean, if those objects would have collided, you would have had a gazillion little pieces scattered out.
So that's what we call the Kessler syndrome, right? So that collision scenario is, we've talked about this on the show before, when you have a collision between objects in space, typically speaking, it's like rabbits breeding. You're going to get a lot more objects that come out of that, right? When they meet,
of course,
you're now going to have a bunch of parts that come out of that. Those parts now are going to fly around and run into more stuff. And that's going to make it very difficult for stuff to get out of the way. So you run this risk of having this incident and then this cascading catastrophic event that could just wipe out a whole bunch of satellites.
Very quickly, you don't have satellites in space. You just have satellite parts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you could certainly see a world where if somebody was planned for this, and if you had your systems that were critical be able to advert from these things or be at a different altitude, they don't call it altitude. They call it different, is it attitude? Basically, if there's it's in a different layer of the gumball. Yeah. You could wipe out an entire infrastructure. I'm sure there are folks way smarter than this that don't talk about it publicly that have figured out how to layer their satellite approaches so that this is less likely to happen. But man, this seems like real risk. Yeah. The other thing that's that goes unnoticed in the press on this is that this close call between this Chinese satellite and it almost struck Starlink 6079, which of all the Starlink satellites is my personal favorite.
Okay. That's the one you get your data from?
6079. It's the only one I get my data from. Just the other one's kind of phoned it in. 6079. It's the hardest working Starlink satellite.
No, sure.
I just call him Barry.
Barry, he's Barry to you?
He's just Barry.
Google Translate now whispers 70 languages in real time. Google is rolling out a new beta feature for Google Translate on Android, enabling real-time audio translation delivered directly through your headphones or earbuds. This tool, first available in the US, India, and Mexico, supports over 70 languages, including Spanish, Hindi, and Japanese. It allows users to instantly understand live conversations, speeches, lectures abroad, or even TV shows and film in a different language without reading or fluency. Additionally, Google is enhancing translations to better handle idioms and slang, like stealing my thunder, rolling out this week on all platforms in the US and India for English and almost 20 other languages.
Okay, two things. One, I mean, other than the fact that this is super cool. One, I am really glad to see Google catching up to Apple. I really think that's great that they're finally...
The Earbuds 3?
That they're finally getting caught up to Apple, yeah.
Have you tried to do any of the translations on the Earbuds 3?
Oh, no, it doesn't work.
The lag would kill you. Plus, it gets a lot wrong.
Yeah, it's basically like, do you remember the old SNL Chris Farley bit where he comes up with something that's really funny, but it's like 30 seconds late? It's basically that. It gives you that.
Yeah, it's exactly what those feel like, yeah.
The other thing I'd like to point out is that of the 70 languages that it supports out of the gate, JavaScript is not one of them.
No, of course not.
So I'd just like to point that out. There's sort of two takes on this. The one is I love that this makes the world a smaller place. It makes your ability to interact with other humans easier.
Yes.
You can consume knowledge and content and culture easier, and I really do love that. But the other side of that sword is it gives me less encouragement to learn that language, which is a big part of their culture. And I don't know how I feel about that, right? Like I'm not a polylinguist. I can barely speak English.
Sure.
But I have friends that can speak, 5 languages, and I'm always envious of that because they can go into these cultures and just communicate. And I feel like I used to go to France all the time, and I would struggle so much with their language, but the French would appreciate it if I would just I'd butcher the crap out of French.
And
they would just come back to me in English and be like, what kind of croissant do you want? And I'd point at the butter and the chocolate one, hold up my fingers and say 3, and I'd go on my way. But these Americans would walk in, like right behind me, and they'd be like, give me a croissant. And they would just look at them and yell at them in French. Yeah. And I was like, but because I at least tried. And I'm afraid that this, like me walking into the cafe in Paris and holding out my phone to be like, I would like 3 chocolate croissants, please, is not the experience that I really want them to have and not the one I want to have. So I'm torn on this because I can really see it both ways.
Just depends on how many countries you go to and how many different languages, because you're never going to have time to learn them all.
Of course.
Speaking of France, I have been in France and actually used the Google Translate thing on the phone where you actually take turns speaking, which is not the same as the live translation, but still 100% worked magically.
Oh, yeah.
We each took turns speaking into it and then spoke back to us in our respective languages, and it worked brilliantly.
The efficacy and accuracy, I'm not debating at all. It's incredible how well that works.
Yeah,
for sure.
That was really cool.
And the fact that they're bolting on like idiom support and slang is really awesome. I'd love to know more how they're doing that.
Amazing.
Yeah, so this is really cool, and I'm glad they're all doing it. I'd rather have the ability, I guess, and not use it, but I do it does concern me that...
I used it to talk to the gardeners, and not too long ago, and it was absolutely so useful.
Well, to you, but to them, you're still doing it in French, and they're like, what is this guy doing? Like, just talk to us in English, buddy. Why are you...
Okay, enough with the headlines. In fact, enough with the episode. We have to get out of here. Special thanks to our floor director, Venkat Mudiala.
Thanks, Reddy.
We'll be back later this week with our big story. The Oracle is out of the office. Educated guesses for unprecedented times. Until then, thank you for listening to all this nonsense. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Stittle.
Our DoorDash is almost here.
Yay! Extra spicy!
Yum, yum.
The latest DynaTech trendsetter is the new PowerHouse line of standby power supplies, made for those who've experienced the frustration of losing hours of programming and data entry due to a power outage or surge. In addition to the inconvenience, such occurrences can mean lost programs and perhaps an expensive component destroyed. Available in 300 and 500 watt models, PowerHouse protects your computer in 2 ways. Okay. First, should your power fail, you instantaneously get clean, regulated power to your system, allowing for an orderly shutdown.
Is it a battery?
Second, while on commercial power, our Surge Sentry circuitry protects your systems from surges and other hazards.
Okay.
To learn more about PowerHouse and other fine DynaTech products, call us toll-free at 800-638-9098 to find a dealer near you.
All right.
Now, I actually called that number.
Of course you did.
Because why not? And I'm not making this up. It picks up and it says, congratulations, because you called today. We're offering you a free medical alert device.
What?
I was just like, oh, wow. Are they just buying like old numbers and just like directing them to like med alert bracelets and necklaces?
Oh, it's not even the DynaTech company.
No, I don't even know what it is. It's some sort of hackery crapness. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, your job is simple, Jeff. Your job is to tell me what year you think this add-in product were from.
But I need to know, is this a battery? 300 and 500 watt models. I don't know what that is. What kind of capacity of battery is that? If it's a battery, that doesn't really tell me anything. 300 to 500.
Look, man, I just read the ads and host a show. I'm not like a fact checker.
So you don't know? You have no idea?
I am assuming it's a battery. I don't know what other kind of magic they would do in order to do this.
If it's a battery, they don't give you enough information because you don't know how long or how much power this thing is going to.
They said 300 and 500 watt models.
Yeah, that doesn't tell me anything.
I know.
How many watt hours do I have?
I've read the ad almost verbatim. I mean, it depends on how much you consume, right?
All right.
If it's got 300 watts of power and you consume 300 watts, it will last for 1 hour.
The fact that it is touting their surge protection capabilities makes me think this is mid-'80s, and I'm guessing probably 1985, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because a friend of mine, who's also a friend of yours, used to do this thing where we would go and set people's computers into other languages.
Yeah. Used to. Yeah.
And,
past tense.
Yeah.
Surely I don't do that anymore. Nope.
And the IT people where we were doing this came and looked at the computers and said, oh, you must have had some static electricity or something. It must have been a surge that changed, so that when you're typing in Korean. And so they got everybody these static pads, touch me first pads.
Sure.
And before you touched your computer, you were supposed to touch this pad to discharge any, And basically that was how they dealt with the surge protection in those days. So that was 1985. So I'll make my guess 1985.
By the way, hypothetically, this same joke still works on phones.
Yes.
When your friends hypothetically hand you their phone.
Of course.
You, sir, could not be closer. 1985 is the year of this ad. This was from Byte magazine.
Yeah, sure.
In 1985. So you could not be closer